Welcome to the Future of Work podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Sarah, and today we're kicking off what I hope will be an incredibly valuable series for anyone navigating the job market. A deep dive into the art of the job interview. I mean, let's be honest, who doesn't get a little bit of a knot in their stomach just thinking about them, right?
Oh, absolutely, Sarah. As a final year student studying business and French, I feel like interviews are looming large on my horizon. The thought of them is exciting because it means I'm getting closer to my career, but also terrifying. So many unknowns.
Terrifying is right, Sophia. I'm with you. I've been in customer service for a while now, and I'm ready for a change, a new challenge. But getting back into the interview game after so long, it feels like a whole different world now. Like I'm starting from scratch in some ways.
Those are two really common perspectives, and I think that's why this topic is so crucial. Luckily, we have someone with us today who's seen it all from the other side of the desk. Please welcome John, an expert interviewer with years of experience. John, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Sarah. And it's great to hear Sophia and Noah's points of view because those anxieties are exactly what we're going to tackle. Interviews don't have to be terrifying. They're a skill, and like any skill, they can be learned, practiced, and mastered.
That's such a reassuring thought, John. So, for our very first episode in this series, we want to lay the groundwork, kind of a general introduction to interview techniques. What's the very first thing someone should be thinking about, even before they step into that interview room?
Preparation, pure and simple. It sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many candidates skip crucial steps here. It's not just about knowing your resume or CV, it's about deeply understanding the role, the company, and most importantly, yourself.
So it's more than just memorizing facts from the company website then? Because that's kind of been my go-to strategy so far. Like, what's their mission statement? Okay, got it.
Exactly, Sophia. While knowing the mission statement is good, it's just the tip of the iceberg. You need to connect that mission to your own aspirations. Think about why this company, why this specific role. How do your skills and experiences genuinely align with what they're looking for, beyond just what's listed in the job description?
That's a good point. When I think about changing careers, it's not just about finding a job. It's about finding the right job, the one that excites me. So I guess I need to articulate that excitement, not just list my past duties.
And that self-reflection part, John, I think that's where a lot of people stumble. It's hard to talk about yourself in a compelling way without sounding arrogant or, conversely, too modest. How do you strike that balance?
It's all about storytelling. Instead of just stating, I'm a good problem solver, tell me about a time you solved a problem. Use the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result. It provides a structured way to share your experiences and demonstrate your skills, rather than just claiming them.
The STAR method. I've heard of that. My career services office mentioned it, but I haven't really practiced it. So, for a question like, tell me about a challenge you faced, I'd outline the situation, what my task was, what I actually did, and then what the positive outcome was.
Precisely, Sophia. And the result part is crucial. Quantify it if you can. I increased customer satisfaction by 15%, or I completed the project 2 days ahead of schedule. Even if it's not a hard number, talk about the impact. It led to a smoother workflow for my team.
That's really helpful. In customer service, I've got tons of situations where I've had to solve problems. But I've never really thought about structuring my answers like that. It makes it sound more professional, you know? Less like rambling.
Absolutely, Noah. It shows you can think critically and communicate effectively. So, beyond the actual content of your answers, let's talk about first impressions. John, what are your top tips for making a strong first impression?
First impressions are vital, and they start even before you speak. Punctuality obviously is non-negotiable. Arrive early but not too early, maybe 10-15 minutes before your scheduled time. It shows respect for their time. Then, there's your appearance. Dress professionally, conservatively, and ensure you're well-groomed. You want to look like you're taking the opportunity seriously.
Even for a video interview. Because a lot of my initial interviews have been virtual these days.
Especially for a video interview. Dress professionally from the waist up at least, because you never know if you'll need to stand up. And pay attention to your background. Keep it tidy, simple, and free of distractions. Good lighting is also key. Face a window if you can, or use a ring light. You want to be seen clearly.
I've definitely been guilty of having a messy background for a quick video call. Never really thought about how that comes across in an interview setting. It makes sense though. It's about showing you're organized and professional.
And what about body language, John? That's another silent communicator that speaks volumes.
Body language is huge. A firm handshake, if it's in person, is essential. Maintain good eye contact throughout the interview, but don't stare them down. Nod occasionally to show you're engaged. Sit up straight, project confidence. Avoid fidgeting or crossing your arms defensively. You want to appear open and receptive.
That's something I worry about. I tend to fidget when I'm nervous, like I'll play with my pen or touch my hair. Any tips for managing that?
Practice, Sophia. Do mock interviews with friends or family. Record yourself. You'll become more aware of these habits. Also, sometimes just placing your hands lightly on the table or clasping them loosely in your lap can help ground you and reduce unconscious movements.
I guess a lot of this just comes down to confidence, right? And that comes from knowing you're prepared.
Exactly. Preparation builds confidence. Now let's talk about one of the most common and often dreaded opening questions. Tell me about yourself. John, how do you advise people to tackle that without just repeating their resume?
The classic opener. This isn't a life story, nor is it a dry recitation of your CV. It's your elevator pitch. It should be concise, 60 to 90 seconds max, and focus on who you are professionally, what you've achieved, and what you're looking for that aligns with this role and this company.
So it's like, I'm Sophia, a final-year business student passionate about international relations, with experience in project management through my internships. And I'm eager to bring my analytical skills to a dynamic global team like yours, Sis.
That's an excellent start, Sophia. You've hit the key points: who you are, relevant experience, and what you want that connects to them. Practice it until it sounds natural, not rehearsed. It should flow.
For me, switching careers. How do I frame that? I'm Noah. I've been in customer service for 10 years, but I'm looking to transition into, say, project coordination. How do I make that sound cohesive?
Great question, Noah. You'd say something like, I'm Noah, a seasoned customer service professional with a decade of experience honing my communication, problem-solving, and organizational skills. While I've enjoyed my time helping customers, I'm now eager to apply these transferable skills in a more strategic, project-focused environment, and I see this role as a perfect opportunity to leverage my strengths in a new way. You highlight your transferable skills and clearly articulate your transition.
That's brilliant, John. It reframes past experience as a strength for the future, which is something I think a lot of career changers struggle with. They feel like their old experience is irrelevant, but it's really just a different context.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. It's good to know how to phrase it so it sounds like an asset, not a disadvantage.
Okay, so we've talked about preparation, first impressions, and the tell me about yourself question. What about when the tables turn? When the interviewer asks, do you have any questions for us? Sophia, what do you usually ask?
Usually I'll ask about the team culture or what a typical day looks like. Sometimes I ask about opportunities for growth within the company. Is that okay?
Those are perfectly good questions, Sophia. The key is to ask thoughtful, well-researched questions that show you've been listening and that you're genuinely interested in the role and the company's future. Never say, no, I don't have any questions. That's a red flag. It implies a lack of engagement.
So not just generic questions? I suppose if I research the company, I could ask about a recent project or challenge they've faced and how my skills might fit into that.
Exactly, Sophia. Even better, tie your questions back to something that was discussed during the interview itself. For example, you mentioned earlier that the team is working on a new initiative to expand into the European market. How do you see this role contributing to that effort, especially given my background in French and international studies? That shows you're engaged, you're a good listener, and you're thinking strategically.
That's such a powerful tip, John. It moves beyond just generic curiosity to demonstrate actual value. We're getting close to time, but I want to quickly touch on the post-interview. What should people be doing after they leave the interview?
A timely and personalized thank you note is essential. Send it within 24 hours. Reiterate your interest in the role, mention something specific you discussed during the interview to show you were paying attention, and briefly restate why you'd be a great fit. It keeps you top of mind and reinforces your professionalism.
So not just a generic thanks for your time email, but something tailored to the conversation.
Precisely, Sophia. A generic note just fades into the background. A personalized one stands out. If you interviewed with multiple people, send a separate, slightly unique note to each of them.
That's a lot to remember, but it all makes so much sense. It's about showing respect and genuine interest at every step, isn't it?
It truly is, Noah. And what a fantastic foundation we've laid today. John, your insights have been invaluable. Sophia and Noah, thank you for bringing your perspectives and questions. I think they really resonated with a lot of our listeners.
Thanks, Sarah. This has been so helpful. I feel a little less terrified already.
Yeah, huge thanks. I'm actually looking forward to doing some of that self-reflection and STAR method practice now.
You're both very welcome. Remember, every interview is a learning experience. Don't be discouraged by setbacks. Learn from them and keep refining your approach.
Such great advice to end on, John. This is just the beginning of our interview journey here on The Future of Work. In our next episode, we'll be diving deeper into a specific type of interview question. Those tricky compound STAR questions that sound simple but actually contain several questions in one. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Huge thanks again to John for sharing his expertise and to Sophia and Noah for being such brilliant co-pilots today. To all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope this episode has given you the tools and confidence to start mastering your next interview. Until next time, keep navigating your career path with purpose.